So there's this fascinating story up at the Washington Examiner. Please read this. Please, Tom Rogan. It's one of those stories at the beginning of the show. You wonder if it's just you. And then I said to Paul, is this a great story? She's like, I love it. Washington Examiner, be up in the show notes at Bongino.com. Did the NSA bust China's coronavirus cover-up by Tom Rogan? Great piece, March 20th, 2020. So, the gist of the piece is this. And listen, it's out there. I guess some of you might understandably say, why are we exposing this? But Tom Rogan says in the piece, listen, he's speculating. It's not, based on some inside intel, but the speculation is fascinating regardless. And his theory is this, that the Chinese central government, the communist leaders, are very hard to spy on. They're obviously, because of their tyrannical nature, concerned about spying, human intelligence gathering, signals intelligence gathering, and they take a lot of proactive measures, sweeping for bugs, listening devices, probably whacking anyone who turns out to be a spy. Obviously, you can do that in tyrannies, So it's hard to spy on Central Command, and therefore, disputing what that Washington Post article said earlier, in early January, when this was getting really bad in China, and December and January, it was probably tough to get information from Central Command sources in China. You tracking me, Joe? Audience referee.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But the core of the outbreak, ladies and gentlemen, in China, we know was in Wuhan. There's a reason it's called the Wuhan virus. That's because it started in Wuhan. And what they're saying is, although Central Command in China is probably pretty good at avoiding listening devices and being spied on, Rogan's theory in the piece, again, which is worth your time, is that these local provincial officials were probably not as talented at doing that, at avoiding surveillance, that is. So he's throwing out there that maybe our NSA, who's been known to, hoover up this kind of stuff, text communications, phone communications, maybe it took them a little bit, but once the people in Wuhan started talking and the provincial officials over there who were not as skilled at Central Command as avoiding these and engaging in counter surveillance measures, that may be how we found out just how bad this was, and maybe why Trump all of a sudden started taking very serious measures. In other words, entirely, completely refuting, if true, the Washington Post's entire premise. Fascinating. From the Tom Rogan piece. Again, worth your time. Unfortunately for Xi, China's leader, of course, the party's provincial officials are less solicitous with operational security. In other words, keeping their communications quiet. The sheer size of the party's bureaucracy means that someone in some position, Joe, is eventually going to say something they're not supposed to say on a cell phone or even an encrypted line. If it's sent with signals, the NSA can get at the target in just about every case. Nice job. If they were the ones who put out the Paul Revere running through the streets, our NSA saying, hey, what they're telling us is going on in Wuhan is not what's going on in Wuhan. This sounds a whole lot worse.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.